keep going. JustProfessor here. Someone asks if you remember the stop sign at the intersection where the accident happened. You do remember it. You can picture it clearly, except there was no stop sign. It was a yield sign. But now your memory has a stop sign in it. Someone else's wrong suggestion just rewrote your memory, and you'll never know it happened. Your memories feel solid and reliable. You remember what happened, what you saw, what people said, but your memories aren't recordings. They're reconstructions that get rebuilt every time you recall them, and during that rebuilding process, they're vulnerable to contamination from outside information. Someone suggests a detail that wasn't there. Your brain absorbs that suggestion and weaves it into your memory. Now you remember something that never happened, and you're completely confident it's real. This is called memory suggestibility, and it's rewriting your past without your permission. Memory suggestibility is when your memories get altered by information you receive after the original event. Someone asks you a question that contains a false detail. That false detail gets incorporated into your memory. Someone tells you their version of a shared experience. Elements of their version contaminate your version. Someone shows you a photo or video that's edited. Your memory shifts to match the altered version. Your brain treats post-event information as if it was part of the original experience. The problem is you don't feel this happening. When a suggestion alters your memory, the new memory feels just as real as the original. You don't remember two versions where one is real and one is suggested. You just remember one version that includes the suggested information. Your brain seamlessly integrates the suggestion into your existing memory and presents it to you as something you actually experienced. There's no warning label. There's no feeling of uncertainty. The contaminated memory feels authentic. This makes your memories much less trustworthy than you think. Every time someone talks to you about a shared experience, your memory of that experience is at risk of contamination. Every time you read an article about an event you witnessed, suggested details can overwrite what you actually saw. Every time someone asks you a leading question about your past, the assumptions in their question can become part of your memory. Your past is constantly being rewritten by present information. The scary part is once a suggestion contaminates your memory, you can't tell the difference between what you really experienced and what was suggested to you later. The suggested elements are now part of your memory. They feel just as real as everything else. You'll defend them. You'll be confident about them. You'll swear they happened, and you'll be wrong without any way to know you're wrong. Let me show you how memory suggestibility rewrites your past in ways you'd never believe. The landmark research on this used a simple setup. People watched videos of car accidents. Afterward, they were asked questions about what they saw, but the questions contained suggestions. One group was asked how fast the cars were going when they hit each other. Another group was asked how fast the cars were going when they smashed into each other. The word smashed suggested a more severe accident than hit. A week later, people were asked if they remembered seeing broken glass in the accident video. There was no broken glass in any of the videos, but people who heard the word smashed were much more likely to falsely remember seeing broken glass. The single word in the question contaminated their memory. They now remembered something that never existed, and they were confident about it. One suggested word created a false memory that persisted. Eyewitness testimony in criminal cases shows memory suggestibility destroying justice. A witness sees a crime. Police interview them and ask questions. The questions contain suggestions, often unintentionally. Did the suspect have a mustache? Even when they didn't. What was he holding in his right hand? When he wasn't holding anything. These suggestions get incorporated into the witness's memory. Later, they testify with confidence about details that were suggested to them, not details they actually saw. Innocent people get convicted based on contaminated memories. The really disturbing research planted entirely false memories of childhood events. Researchers told adults about things that supposedly happened when they were kids. The events never happened. But researchers used some real details about the person's childhood to make the false event seem plausible. They asked the person to try to remember this false event. At first, people said they didn't remember. But when asked repeatedly to try to recall details, many people started generating memories of the event that never occurred. The suggestion that something happened, combined with imagination, created full false memories complete with sensory details and emotions. Family stories demonstrate suggestibility rewriting your childhood. Your parents tell a story about something you did as a kid. They tell it multiple times over the years. Eventually, you remember the event. Except you don't actually remember it. You remember the story. The repeated suggestions from hearing the story created a memory that feels like your own experience. You can't tell that you're remembering the story rather than the event. Some of your childhood memories might be memories of stories, not memories of experiences. Social media makes memory suggestibility worse. You experience an event. Later, you see other people's photos and descriptions of the same event. Their versions contain details yours didn't. Your memory absorbs their details. Now, you remember things from their perspective, or remember details you never actually noticed. Your memory becomes a blend of your experience and everyone else's social media posts. You think you're remembering what happened to you. You're remembering a crowdsourced version that includes information you never personally observed. Therapy can create false memories through suggestibility. A therapist believes a patient's problems stem from repressed trauma. They use techniques to help the patient recover these memories. The therapist's expectations and questions suggest that trauma occurred. The patient, trying to remember, starts generating memories that match the suggestions. These false memories can feel completely real. Families have been destroyed by accusations based on suggested memories that never corresponded to real events. Marketing exploits memory suggestibility constantly. An ad shows people having a great time using a product. You see the ad multiple times. Later, your memory of your own experiences with similar products gets contaminated by the ad's suggestions. You remember enjoying something more than you did. You remember it being easier or better than it was. The ad's suggestions have altered your personal memories to be more positive, making you more likely to buy. Relationships get damaged by memory suggestibility. You and your partner have an argument. Later, you each remember different versions. You talk about it. Each person's account contains suggestions that contaminate the other's memory. You end up with blended memories, where neither of you can accurately recall what actually happened. Each person is confident in their version. Both versions have been contaminated by the conversation. The original argument is now inaccessible, buried under layers of suggested revisions. News coverage of events you witnessed shows suggestibility clearly. You see something happen. Later, you watch news coverage that gets details wrong or adds interpretations. Your memory absorbs the news version. When you try to remember what you saw, your memory includes elements from the news coverage. You can't separate what you actually witnessed from what the news suggested to you. Your eyewitness memory has been contaminated by media you consumed afterward. So, how do you protect your memories from suggestibility when they're constantly vulnerable to contamination? How do you preserve what actually happened? First, recognize that your memories are not recordings. They're reconstructions that get altered every time you recall them and every time you receive new information. This makes them much more fragile and unreliable than they feel. Treat your memories with appropriate skepticism. Second, write down important experiences as soon as possible. The longer you wait between the experience and recording it, the more time there is for suggestions to contaminate your memory. A written record created immediately after an event is more reliable than a memory recalled months or years later after countless opportunities for contamination. Third, be aware when questions contain suggestions. If someone asks, "Was the car red?" they're suggesting it might have been red. If you're not sure, don't let their suggestion become part of your memory. It's okay to say you don't remember or weren't paying attention to that detail. Don't let questions fill in gaps in your memory. Fourth, avoid repeatedly imagining or reconstructing uncertain memories. Every time you try to remember something you're not sure about, you risk creating false details that will feel real. If you don't clearly remember something, accept that gap. Don't fill it in through imagination that will later feel like memory. Fifth, be cautious about memories that emerged during suggestive situations. If a memory appeared while someone was asking leading questions or suggesting what might have happened, that memory is highly suspect. Memories that spontaneously emerge are more trustworthy than memories that develop during suggestive conversations. Sixth, recognize that confidence doesn't equal accuracy. You can be absolutely certain about a memory that's completely wrong. Suggestibility creates false memories that feel just as real as accurate memories. Your confidence level tells you nothing about whether a memory has been contaminated. Seventh, compare your memories to external evidence when possible. Photos, videos, documents, and other records can show you when your memory has drifted. You'll often be surprised by how different your memory is from what actually happened. These reality checks help you understand how unreliable your memories are. Memory suggestibility means your memories get altered by information you receive after the original event. Someone suggests a detail. Your brain incorporates it into your memory. Someone asks a leading question. The assumptions in that question contaminate your recall. Someone shows you their version of a shared experience. Elements of their version blend into yours. Your memory is constantly being rewritten by post-event information. The dangerous part is you don't notice this happening. Suggested information doesn't feel different from real memories. Your brain seamlessly integrates suggestions into your existing memories and presents them as authentic experiences. You remember the suggested details with the same confidence you remember real details. There's no way to tell them apart from the inside. This makes your memories much less reliable than they feel. You think you remember what happened. Actually, you remember a blend of what happened, what people told you happened, what questions suggested might have happened, and what you imagined might have happened. All these sources get mixed together into memories that feel completely real. Fighting suggestibility requires recognizing that your memories are vulnerable and taking steps to protect them. Record important events immediately. Notice when questions contain suggestions. Don't fill in memory gaps through imagination. Be skeptical of memories that emerged during suggestive situations. Don't trust your confidence level as proof of accuracy. Check your memories against external evidence. Your memories will always be suggestible. That's how human memory works. But understanding this vulnerability makes you more careful about protecting important memories from contamination, and more humble about claiming you remember exactly what happened. The past you think you remember isn't as solid as it feels. Parts of it were suggested to you afterward, and you have no way to know which parts. Subscribe to discover more ways your memory is lying to you about your past.